Brad.
Yeah.
Baseball is beginning. Okay, July 23 or 24 will be opening day, and we are going to have a 60-game season. Now, obviously, that is significantly reduced from a normal season. They're trying to jam it all into a regular chronological or calendar time frame. And what are your thoughts, first of all, on not extending beyond October?
I don't think they should. I don't think they should extend beyond October, even if they bring everybody to like a neutral site for the World Series or anything.
Yeah.
Because they should try to start next season as normal as possible.
Yeah.
Because who knows what's going to happen after next season? We brought it up before talking about the expiration of the CBA and doomsday scenario. We don't have baseball in 2022. So
unacceptable.
It is. So we should try to get as much of a season in next year as possible. And I feel like the off season is short as it is. You don't want to shorten it at all. As nice as fun as it would be to have the World Series on Thanksgiving,
or Christmas, as was previously proposed.
Right? Yeah. I don't think they should. They should stick to where they're at, and at that point you're going to be competing with NFL for ratings.
Very likely, yes.
Possibly the NBA, even though I don't think they're even going to be starting until Christmas. It sounds like,
right?
But still, like. The NFL is a juggernaut. That's tough. That is really tough to compete with, especially you get into October, November, things start to really, or November, especially December, things really heat up.
Yeah,
that's tough to compete with on ratings, and you don't want to go there.
I agree.
As baseball, so no, I think they're doing it the right way. October, end in October. Do it.
Look, I agree with you. I had different reasons, but they don't matter anymore because you've so artfully articulated yours.
No, give me your reason. Tell me why.
No, I refuse. We're moving on, Brad.
All right.
So we're going to have 60 games this season. The way it's going to be broken down is 40 games against those in your division, those teams, and then 20 of those games will be interleague play, and I think that's a pretty even balance. I kind of like the split.
Yeah.
I think that by doing 20 interleague games, though, we're going to see a greater amount of diversity in the teams that our personal teams face, the ones we watch, right? And that'll be interesting to see.
It will be, and it's not just random interleague either. It's the West will play the West, Central will play the Central, the East will play the East. That's right. It's a very structured. They're really trying to limit travel here, and the advantage in this case truly goes to the AL and NL East because they don't ever have to leave their time zones.
That's right.
The Central's going to have a little bit of travel, but the West, man, gosh,
here you go.
Houston, and Arlington.
Can I push that soapbox underneath you a little more
firmly? Please do, because it's absurd.
I'll spot you.
Golly, Texas needs to be in the Central. Do some realigning, add some more teams. I don't know what you got to do, but get Texas out of the West. Sorry, I know you're in New York, and everything west of the Mississippi is west, but man, that's true. Middle America, man. Come on.
It is Middle America.
Sheesh, kabash.
Houston should be considered Middle America.
Yeah. They're so far east in Texas. It doesn't make any sense to me geographically.
I agree with you. Yes. I agree with you.
Makes me so angry.
Let's hit some rules. Let's hit some rules really quick. There's some rules that everybody needs to be prepared for, and I know it's getting beat heavily, so we probably can go through this fairly quickly. But the universal DH will be implemented for this season. 2020, we'll see a universal DH. Doesn't matter what league you're in. So sorry, Mad Bomb and some of your others. Lester. 3-batter minimum. So the rule now states, and we've talked about this before, but just as a recap, that players, relievers, specifically relieving pitchers, they're going to come in and they're going to have to face a minimum of 3 batters or retire a side or get injured. Those are their options.
Yep.
That's it. Otherwise, they got to stick it out.
Yeah.
no position players to pitch. There's been
no. What it was, remember they had that rule that they were going to implement this year?
Yeah.
That rule is out the window. Position players can pitch as needed.
See, and I was getting to it. I was going to say the position pitch.
Sorry.
It's okay. You covered it. We'll move on, Brad. Any game that is suspended for any reason, weather or otherwise, will be restarted. They will not start over. They're going to initiate play from the point in the game where it was suspended.
Yeah, and that's specifically for games that don't meet the minimum criteria of a game, right? Of like 5 innings.
5 innings. Yeah.
If they play the 5 innings, whatever, then they're fine. It can be a complete game. But if it's like 3.5 innings and they're suspended, they'll start from the 3.5 innings. They won't start over like they typically would otherwise.
Well said. That is a wonderful caveat. Okay. The trade rules have shifted by about 30 days. Mm-hmm. That's the only real major difference here. And then the only thing worth mentioning past that is that if you're going to trade somebody, the only people you can trade from or for is the 60-man roster, which we're going to get into in just a minute. But the pool of available players to barter and trade with is severely limited to 60 players this time. Everybody else stays with the club they're with the franchise they're with, and if a player moves from the 60, they have to be on the 60-man roster on the team they're traded to. Okay, Brad, tell us about roster sizes, since that was a perfect segue.
So like you said, there's going to be the 60-man roster, which is basically going to be used like the 40-man roster has been in years past.
Yeah.
But the difference is you cannot bring anybody onto your squad unless it's a trade, or I guess you can. You can replace somebody on the 60-man roster with somebody who's not on it. But I think that's only through trade. Anyway, so you've got the 60-man roster, but the actual active roster starting the first day of the season is going to be 30. The other 30 players are going to be away at another training facility, basically like extended spring training, but in the city where the team is, so that they can have those players come in should there be an injury, a positive COVID test, anything,
whatever. Yep.
So 30 players in the clubhouse for 2 weeks. Then it goes down to 28 players for another 2 weeks, and then after those 2 weeks, it goes down to 26 for the rest of the season, which is what was going to be the standard for this season,
right?
With the new rules. So that ends up being pretty normal. They're going to have something that's called a taxi squad. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what a taxi squad is 3 players that are on the 60-man roster who will travel with the team, so that in case there's an injury or there is a positive COVID test, then they can just go right in and take that player's place right away. One player on the taxi squad has to be a catcher. So, like for the Mariners, I saw yesterday or today, I believe it was, that Cal Raleigh is going to be on their taxi squad. He's going to be their taxi catcher. He is not a guy who was probably ever going to see any big league time this year unless there were significant injuries at the big league level. But this year, he'll probably get a chance.
Yeah.
Because, and the thing that's kind of cool about the taxi catcher is that they're not just off. They're not just off away from the team like everybody else on the taxi squad is. They're actually with the team so they can work in the bullpen with the pitchers.
That's exactly
right. So I thought that was pretty cool that that's something they're doing just so those guys can stay sharp and keep the chemistry with the pitchers, because you've got to do that. So
yeah. Now I wish
they were thinking with that one.
The Yankees are wishing they'd kept Austin Romine, poor dumb buggers.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, for real. But to Austin Romine's credit, he'll have significantly more opportunity in Detroit or wherever he is now. I think he's still in Detroit, right? Anyway, this season, it's very exciting because I freaking love Austin Romine. He's my man.
I do like the Romine brothers. Austin particularly, I think he's awesome.
He's awesome.
He's a good player.
So, let's talk about COVID-19, because that's still a thing, in case you didn't know. Still happening.
Yeah.
Maybe even spiking, okay? Depending on
where you live.
Where you are. Yeah, that's right. So, baseball has gone to great lengths to facilitate the safety of their players and the staff. anybody participating on the field and off the field, but during the games. So if you're on the bench, right, you will no longer be sitting in the dugout. You'll be sitting in the stands 6 feet apart. That's a number of seats, right? I think, what is it, 3 or 4 minimum seats apart? Something like that.
I would do, honestly, I'd do 4 seats to be safe.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think 3 seats is probably it, but yeah.
Probably not going to cut it. So they're going to sit a number of seats apart, each player, and then when they're called up to start, warming up or whatever it is, it's going to be very different. I'm really excited to see that sort of transition period, those exchanges, how much sooner they're going to need to call guys in, what sort of warm-up that will, bring about. I don't know. I'm really interested to see what that looks like. Every player they'll be testing every other day, actual, like the swab, the test. And if a player tests positive one time, they must then test negatively twice before they're allowed back into any facility at all. Yeah. Not even the off-site training facility where the remainder of the 60-man is stationed and training. None of that.
I do think that's smart, though.
I agree
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean,
nothing wrong with it.
It sounds heavily precautious, and it is. I mean, that's the point.
And they need to be. They need to be because we saw how fast everything spread at the beginning, and then now with guys working out. I mean, it seems like there's a ton of positive tests, and even the NBA released a statistic the other day that 16 out of 302 tested players were tested positive.
Jeez. Well,
which is consistent with 5%.
Not to mention here where I am, Clemson football. There's a whole bunch of football players at Clemson that are testing positive right now, and it's like it's madness. So
I think LSU quarantined a bunch of their guys because of a nightclub outbreak, and it's insane. It's madness.
It's bad news bears, if you'll pardon the reference. Okay.
Yeah,
it was terrible. Okay, so here we go. We got baseball jokes. There will be no spitting of any kind. No dip, no seeds, nothing.
I think they can chew gum, but I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if it's like put it in the wrapper and then put it in the trash.
We've had players come out and say, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. And they I don't know that they intentionally plan to violate this rule, but they expect it to be to themselves anyway to be in violation, and I think this is going to be a really interesting one for.
Well, you think about it. As baseball players, you get so used to having something in your mouth while you're playing, whether it is gum. At that point, could be dip. Maybe those guys have been dipping for 15 years while they've been playing baseball.
Very likely.
Or eating sunflower seeds. I don't know how I would handle the sunflower seed thing. That'd be tough.
It would be super tough. Yeah, I don't know. But what I'm interested in is how MLB is going to enforce that one. Okay.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's an automatic out.
Yeah. Strike 2. Somebody in the No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the penalty is if somebody's spitting.
Yeah, so we're going to see. That's pretty interesting. And then everybody will have a temperature check twice every day. That's it. That's the COVID stuff that you're probably wondering about. So the last thing I will say about this season is that we've not heard any, or I should say it's been confirmed there will be no expanded playoff situation, which Brad and I agree is just asinine.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make any sense to me that the owners would not accept that. I mean, it's like the players are like, we'll do expanded playoffs for you so you can make back some of that money from the TV deals that you're not getting from fans. And the owners are like, no.
Everything's about money until it's about money, and then it's not about money.
It's exactly right.
Back off, okay?
Yep.
Don't tell me how to live my life. Okay.
Yeah. Don't tell me how to make my money. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So.
It's the most hilarious thing.
Whatever.
Anyway, I can't believe this.
Weird.
I was telling Brad, and I was going to try to avoid this, but Brad, we have just a minute left, and I'm going to say this, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm going to publicly announce that I demand Rob Manfred's resignation.
I second that motion. Maybe we can should we start a change.org?
Yes!
Start a petition?
Yes! Okay.
Get that sent out.
I see you.
I like that. Because I don't want him negotiating the new CBA.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we may never have baseball again.
Ever.
If he's trying to negotiate the new CBA.
Yes.
Because,
No, not okay.
No, and I will give him this. He did say the right thing this week. He said we've got to be better for our fans, which I'm like, yeah, hello, okay. Of course you do. That's a no-brainer.
Almost
but the fact that he actually came out and said it.
I know, but who told him to say it? Listen, who told him to say it? And
probably Bob Costas.
That's exactly right. Or Joe Torre's like, listen. Yeah. All right, I've been managing clubhouses for a really long time. And it's not different with public relations. It's not. Anyway,
it's the exact same approach.
Freak.
Apologize to the people.
Just be humble.
Yep.
You still can be in charge if you're humble.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.